Today, I'm just going to be doing a quick power ranking of the NPA 12 draft, excluding Postwick United because I'm on that team. So first up, you have the Samurais with the Ray Clippers as their retains. Maluka, Adi, Ragav, Desu, Ari, George, Kuro, Blue, Kuro. Really strong team, to be honest. Tio and Abai and now Bars have always done a really good job at drafting in kind of all their leagues. I've managed with Tio and Abai, and I mean, the amount of work that they do pre-draft, I feel, is more than any other team that I've been on, and it really shows with how strong this team is. So Ray and Clippers, both good retains. Clippers have done well in the IRL, and Ray is just a solid Italian player. Maluka, 31. I think Maluka and Snow are probably, the only 30s, and I think that makes sense. Maluka is probably the best player in the world right now, and Snow is just always consistent in these leagues as well as just really, really strong. Adi is no longer with the Puppies, which is a shock, but he does find his way over to Samurais, which is a really strong team, at 19, which is pretty suiting considering looking around at the table. Ragav for 13.5 is also really good player. Desu, Italian player, doesn't play as much. I remember seeing him in the Rose Towers quite a bit, but still really strong. Ari for 9 is a steal. Ari is really, really good Chinese player. We had him on Soros, and he's also playing in Smogun right now. But this is, 9 is insane. This is definitely a 15 player. George for 4.5, this is, George has always been pretty consistent in these, and for 4.5, that's even better. I don't really know. I know Kuro Katsune, really good, played on Puppies. Haven't seen much of him since the Dynamax era. Blue and Kuro, I don't know, but I know they're really good showdown players, around 2,000 plus rating on, Series 1 ladder. So, pretty good pickups there, too. I just don't know enough about them. So Samurais, really strong team, pretty top heavy as we figured. That's how they like doing their drafts. Ray, Clippers, Maluka, Adi, everyone on here can win. So really strong team. I'd expect them to go deep this year, as they did last. And now the Detectives with the retain on Joe and My Stars. Joe 25 makes sense. Really strong player. Just make sure he shows up on time. My Stars also really good player. 10 makes sense. Iceberg just won a regional. 16 makes sense. Battle Room 8, pretty good steal. He was doing pretty good in the Nomax tours for a while now, as well as Scarlet Violet. I don't know Phoenix. Maze Maker, I think he maybe was on Birds last season, 8.5. Not too sure. This is Ink. 19 for Ink is a bit of a surprise. Maybe just because of their Smogon record right now, but still a really strong player. I just don't know if 19 is justified, but hey, I guess we'll see. You got better support here. 5, 17. 5 is so sick, dude. 17 makes sense. Really, really strong player. Tekka 3 is a really good pickup. Tekka's really strong. Utada for 10. That's what he usually goes for. And Mirai for 3, which also makes sense. And also a really good player for 3K. And we go and we look over at the Blizzards now. Oh, and the Detective Managers, Yuki-Zan and Stater, Marcus. And so we have Izzy, Tam, and Temple. They usually like drafting a lot of lesser known players with some top players who will guide them, and they kind of follow it here, kind of adopting the Jean-Marc style. So we have Chang Fu with a retain at 12, really good Chinese player. Pazar at 16.5. I think they did really well in NPA last year, probably the retain. Haven't heard much of them in Scarlet Violet since. Kyogre SG for 13 is a really good steal. Probably one of the better Chinese players right now. If not, well, I guess Benji. Yeah, but really, this is a really good price for him. Danetti, don't know him. Sadly, 4, so I guess people must have. Yakos for 20.5. It's a bit of a shock, but I have seen him playing a lot recently. I know he was really good before, and I played with him, but I just didn't know after his accident and everything where he's at. But 20.5, if he performs, makes sense. Sven for 12. I don't really understand this pick tons. I don't really know Sven well enough for 12, but I think I saw him last year, but I think he was on the Cruisers. I just don't remember how well he did. Varun for 3. This is a really good pickup. 5 makes sense. I'm pretty sure Varun and Ink are friends, so they'll probably still build together, and that'll be good. I want to say this is a Chinese player, but I actually don't know who this is. Don't know. Finnebass won a 2 or 3. That makes a lot of sense, and it's actually it does make a lot of sense. I feel like this would be higher. Silin, really good Chinese player. I feel like this is a steal as well, if I'm remembering right from Smogun. Arcady, don't know. AJ, I only know him for playing Smash Bros. One time. And Angela for 3, that's also pretty good. So they got pretty good value in the 3Ks here. I'm just don't know some of these players as well, but they could definitely surprise me. Cruisers. Cruisers have been known for their like really top heavy when Ike and Viva Lavade were managing, but it looks like they kind of followed that again actually. So we have Snow to retain at 33. This is probably the only player you're going to retrain that's like 30 and like you're allowed to, besides maybe Luca, maybe like Benji, but I guess that's just a manager playing. But like Snow 33, that's insane, but they'll probably win every week and they'll probably help out, so it's worth it. Krellcroc for 18, really good. So you got really two strong players here. Trainer Rob, pretty sure this guy plays HO mainly, but 6 probably a pretty good like just bench player, just player in general. Calvin Nix for 10, also really good player for 10. Chase for 6, like Chase is insane. That's another really good pickup. CMLE for 11.5. This is like a really good steal for me. I don't know how much he's been playing, but I remember seeing him last year on the Samurais. He was definitely like one of the best players in the entire league. So this is like their first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have been like look really strong. Pontus, pretty sure this guy used to always play on the Blizzards and do pretty decently, so 10 feels justified. Frost here I've seen lots on their Twitter, so also good steal. Yoshin Lugia was a finalist in the Hat Tour, so that's good. Semper's and Smogan has been doing pretty good. Chosen Future either goes inactive, as far as I know, according to Sam, or pops off. But the fact that they got both of them together, I feel like he could have a pretty good run just like last year, as well as Zelda. Megamite Nick, pretty sick that he got drafted, and I don't know who this person is. But all in all, really good draft by Cruisers, actually. I'm really impressed with it. I think they got a lot of players for a lot less than you'd expect, like Calvin and Chase and Melly. Moving on to Puppies. Winners of last season, Mice and Bartosh have been known to do a really good job. Let's just go over it quickly. Dwabafet as the retain. Haven't heard much of him, but he did good last season, so it makes sense. Cedric, 11k retain. So very valuable. What a great player. Really good. So their first 2 retains pretty strong. Probably one of the stronger retains out of all of them, I would say, but pretty good. A-Ray, 20.5. I know a lot of people don't exactly love him for what he's done, but still pretty amazing player, so 20.5 makes sense. Santi for 19.5, also really good player, you know, for 19.5. Like, so they got really good value for their top 2. Ace Nowak played good last year, so they're just getting him again. Makes sense. Price seems about right. This is probably an underpay, I feel. I don't know about their usual NPA record, but I know they've won some tournaments before, so expect them to be more. Mars for 7.5, I think, is probably I'm gonna say is the best pick for price in this entire draft. Mars always does extremely well, and he always goes extremely supped on. Maybe it's activity, I'm not sure. Even playing with him, he's always done really well. So I'm not sure why he's only 7.5 here, but I think this is like the steal of the draft, personally at least. Then you got Azazel the God, pretty sure it's Justin Karras for 5, seems about right. Miha, pretty sure they had him last year. 12.5, I guess he probably did pretty good. Poggy for 3, this is a really good pickup. Poggy's been pretty good for quite some time, and for 3k, I feel like it's pretty justified, and I don't really know Apple Pie or Ranghome. But pretty strong draft, like getting players for undervalue. I feel like they did a pretty good job at that. Now we sadly will not go over the Amazing United just because I'm on them, but we have Aaron Traylor, so expect to see us in finals. Moving over to Stars, we have Hobbit as a retain. Hobbit for 10k might be like a lesser known retain, but also really strong in draft leagues usually. Brede has been doing pretty good in their tournaments, rocking a rain team, I'm pretty sure, from what I've seen. Does that make sense? Banfox for 22.5 feels really justified. Banfox is insane, like such a good player. Like I would expect him to like just go deep in everything. Like the Open, he's so good. Polar Bear for 45, also been doing really well in tournaments. Don't know. Kahaku for 5.5. This feels like an insane steal. This is like Mars level steal. Pick Sylvia for 5, also really good pick. Kakunaka, really good, 11k. Was a manager before, back at it. Macedon's doing really well in Smogan. Don't know Weevo. Heard of Rover Summer, but don't really know them well enough. Cortex always has these funky teams that kind of work. Certain Light, don't know who this is. Yotam, don't know who this is. And Atmosphere for 7 seems like a really good last pickup, really strong player in the back. So Stars actually have a really strong team. Like, I'm really impressed with this draft as well. Moving over to Monarchs, who have been really highly sought after as one of the best teams just talking around. Spurfic and T-Man for 25. I don't know Justin too well in leagues and how well they've done. I know in past they were really well, but so right now I'm not too sure. 25 is a steep price, so you got to really perform. But if you're managing as well, like, you're not going to just not be active or anything. T-Man, I feel like these are probably justified. Like, some people would be saying, like, maybe overpay, but also I could see it working out. They're both really strong players. Nails for 14.5. They're managing together in Smogun, so it makes sense he picked up him. And Nails is also a great player. Yuri, I guess, is playing again, 45. River, 3.5, and I think they're doing amazing in Smogun. I think they're undefeated. So, pretty good if they can stay active here. I know a lot of people say that River just doesn't play, but who knows? I mean, they're doing great in Smogun. Mao for 7 seems probably fine. Hoopu Metapod for 7. I love this guy. Good friend, and has been playing on Zoras for a while. Really good pickup there. Don't know Shiloh Brevarius. I think makes these sheets usually. I guess Evan made this one, but probably a pretty good 3K. Z-Strat's really good DOU player. Dayshu for 5.5 makes sense. Umbri Harbinger. I don't know these two, but missing Null for 3 is a really, really good 3K as well. Also a friend on the Zoras. So pretty good draft. They need their top players to really perform, but I feel like they have some really good depth that it doesn't even matter too much. Moving on to Crown with the least players on their team, kind of following the Detective Samurais route. I just realized they only had... Oh, I didn't even... Yeah. So anyways, moving on to the Crown. They got Binji on the retain for 25. They got Tang for 23.5. They got Chongjung for 20. And they got Carson. This is Carson Comfort, right? So that was crazy. He was like really cheap last NPA. Now he really popped off. So these first 4 are their main core, right? They really need these first 4 to win. And I guess Jinyu as well. First 5. So the problem with that is you really need them to win, but they have a really good depth. Actually, looking at this mainly based Chinese team, like Tang, it seems really sick, right? So I feel like they did a really good job here. Sapphire and Asuka, I feel like these are both Chinese players, and I feel like Asuka's done really well before. I just don't know about Sapphire. Yuhi, Canadian legend as well. Good pickup. Jinyu, played on Monarchs, I want to say last season. Darko, Iron Man, don't know who these guys are as much. But really good top-heavy draft. I think they executed it well, and they just need their cheaper players to perform half decently, and they should have pretty good success. Moving on to Symbionts, which is the most player. No. Oh, there's a few teams that actually full teams. Didn't even realize. Fake Campo, 60.5. Pretty sure this guy was a senior. Now he's not, but he's been doing well, I'm pretty sure, from what I've seen on Twitter. CC out for 23. Pretty sure he's on the... I forget what they're called last year. Stargazers? I can't remember how well he did, but this price seems justified. He's a strong Italian player. Red Silver for 14 makes sense. Really good French player. Crystal for 13. That's a pretty good steal. Crystal really popped off last season. Genius for 6. Has been higher when he performs really well right before a tour, as noted by Duckpon. Don't know who the salad is. Jmaji, I feel like just won something or was a finalist. Like these 2 picks right here, Jmaji and Taboo for 5.54. I feel like they got really good value on. Xiao for 3.5 is pretty good. I'm pretty sure he was the captain of the French team at one point. Oil for 3, another good pickup. Siba for 3, good. Jack Spadesman, I feel like he's always on this team, probably good. Lexo, don't know him, good. I don't know, I'm just assuming actually. Ethox for 3, really nice guy, makes sense. And Zich for 3, so it seems like they got some friends on this team as well. And they look really strong. Symbiots usually do well. Monarchs usually do well. Puppies do well. Samurais and Blizzards usually find a way halfway through the season. Remember, these are just my opinions. Feel free to prove me wrong when you actually play. This is just me at a first glance. My last place is Blizzards. And I think it's Detectives here. Then I'm going to go Symbiots. Followed by Stars. Then we have the Cruisers with Monarchs. And now these top 3 are close, but I'm going to put Puppies here. And I think it's between Samurais and Crown, but I think Crown just have some really good Chinese players that we don't even know probably as well as they do. So this is my power rankings. Obviously my opinions, don't take it too personally. But good luck to everyone. And yeah, that's all. See you in the next one.